right, guys. So, yeah, as you can see down at the bottom, you already know what we about to talk about. This stupid impeachment of Donald Trump for striking Iran. Now, for those of y'all who don't know, you know what? I'm gonna just go ahead and play the video. This is basically when Obama was in office.
After weeks of conducting airstrikes in Iraq to combat militant group ISIS, the government says it will be bombing at least 4 provinces in Syria. Amateur videos like this one posted on YouTube are already showing the damage of airstrikes on the civilian population. But on Tuesday, President Obama said the airstrikes are necessary to eventually defeating ISIS, and the U.S. would not be going at this fight alone.
We were joined in this action by our friends and partners, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Jordan, Bahrain, and Qatar. America is proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with these nations on behalf of our common security.
But while President Obama was delivering his press conference on the South Lawn, a group of demonstrators gathered in front of the White House to protest his actions.
It is a violation of the Constitution in terms of Congress's responsibility to declare war, a violation by the president waging another recess war when Congress is out of town, wage a war. This is what has been his habit, but it's also a violation by Congress itself, intentionally fleeing town.
But whether or not the president has the authority won't be debated on the Hill, since Congress is now in recess. And on Friday, September 21st, the last day before recess, the House passed a resolution banning any member of Congress from calling the members of Congress back from recess to vote on giving the president authority to go to war. Democratic Massachusetts Congressman Jim McGovern was in opposition of the rule.
If any member of this House has any concerns about the ongoing military operations in Iraq, the potential of U.S. military airstrikes in Syria, or the possible introduction of U.S. combat ground forces into either country, then this rule will tie their hands for the next 2 months. Unfortunately, it is not clear if any vote will ever happen at any time in this House, even after we come back in November, even though there's a growing bipartisan consensus that such an authorization is needed.
Also, Republican members of Congress have come out in support of a vote and debate on bombing Syria. President Obama has maintained that he has the authority to send troops based on the Authorization for Use of Military Force, or AUMF, which grants the president authority to use force against those responsible for the September 11th attacks, a rule that the president himself recognized goes too far in his speech last year at the National Defense University.
Unless we discipline our thinking, our definitions, our actions, we may be drawn into more wars we don't need to fight, or continue to grant presidents unbound powers more suited for traditional armed conflicts between nation states. So I look forward to engaging Congress and the American people in efforts to refine and ultimately repeal the AUMF's mandate.
Critics say that the War Powers Resolution of 1973 makes it illegal for the president to use force in another country without the approval from the legislature within 60 days of the first military action. The president first deployed troops to Iraq in June, and there still has been no vote.
The Congress members have the same power we have, and they could be protesting their leadership, they could be protesting the president, and yet they passed through both houses weapons and training and aid to rebels in Syria, close allies of the people they now say they are bombing. And then they passed a rule that said they can't be forced back to vote on the war, and they left and went on vacation for months.
These anti-war demonstrators are concerned about increased amounts of American ground troops, especially after former Secretary of Defense Robert Gates promoted the idea of boots on the ground.
They're not going to be able to be successful against ISIS strictly from the air, or strictly depending on the Iraqi forces or the Peshmerga or the Sunni tribes acting on their own. So there will be boots on the ground if there's to be any hope of success in the strategy.
But President Obama has denied that any mission will involve more ground forces.
As your commander-in-chief, I will not commit you and the rest of our armed forces to fighting another ground war in Iraq.
President Obama knows the American people don't want boots on the ground, so he keeps saying no boots on the ground while he keeps sending boots on the ground. What do you call the 1,600 people who are there? He says they're not going to be in combat positions. Hello, you're sending them into this very, very dangerous area, and they're not going to be in harm's way? Of course they are. And so I think the American people are soon going to realize that just like under Bush, they've been lied to about the imminent threat. They've been lied to about the other justifications, like the humanitarian one, like saving U.S. personnel. These are all justifications for a war that the Obama administration has unfortunately decided on.
This week,
Trump performed an airstrike. No boots on the ground whatsoever. Nobody died. And these people is calling for his impeachment. Trump did way less than what he did. Trump did way less than what he did, and they calling for impeachment. Trump did way less than he did. All he did was send bomber ships, F-2 bomber ships, and drop bombs on them, on their nuclear sites. No boots on the ground whatsoever. And they calling for this man's impeachment. He did less than what Obama did. Less than what Obama did. Way less than what Obama did. You cannot make this up. We finna go to the next thing, because this impeachment, this impeachment is the next thing that's funny as I don't know what. This impeachment is exactly insane. Watch this. Watch this, guys. Let's just watch this, guys. This is the Forbes. 58 Democrats voted against it. 100 of the Republicans gonna vote against it. 58 Democrats voted against this impeachment. 58. Matter of fact, we gonna fast forward it. 69, 70. Ooh. The 70 Democrats that voted against the impeachment basically said, yeah, he should be impeached. Nah, he's not saying no, not they voted against it. The ones that say nay are for it, are for the impeachment. For the use of the military. Wow. 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 And the thing about it is, every president has done this. From Bill Clinton, when it comes to Kosovo, all the way down to, just like you seen before a minute ago, Barack Obama. I think Bush did the same thing too. I think Bush did the same thing too. And, and Joe Biden. Now, if y'all was in high school like I was, nah, wait, I wasn't in high school by that time. I graduated. I graduated 2012, and he won the second term. Now, I had to be at least about 22 years old or 20 years old when that happened, when he dropped bombs on Syria without congressional approval. Your own fellow Democrats is saying like, nah, that's not gonna work either. Do y'all see this? Do y'all see the votes? Your own colleagues is saying, yeah, we not finna, we not finna impeach him on that. Because every president that came before him has done the same thing. They know they are hypocrites. They know they are hypocrites. They know they are hypocrites. Look at that. Look at that. Complete and utter embarrassment. Complete and utter embarrassment. 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 Complete and utter embarrassment. Complete and utter embarrassment. 343.
344, the nays are 79. The motion is adopted. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid upon the table.
Complete and utter embarrassment. Let's go to the next thing. Let's go to the next thing. Let's actually read something for a good minute. The War Powers Act of 1973. Well, hold on. So, matter of fact, I'm finna pull it up. War Powers Resolution of 1973. Listen, we not finna play with y'all. Stop the cap. We is not finna play with y'all, okay? Stop the cap. Stop the cap. We not finna play with y'all. We not finna play with y'all today. Stop the cap. Stop the cap. Dear educators. Educated, okay, we not finna do it. The War Powers Resolution of 1973, also known as the War Powers Act, is a congressional resolution designed to limit the U.S. President's ability to initiate or escalate military actions abroad. As part of our system of governmental checks and balances, the law aims to check the executive branch's power when committing U.S. military forces to an armed conflict without consent of the U.S. Congress. It stipulates the president must notify Congress within 48 hours, which he did, of military action and prohibits armed forces from remaining for more than 60 days. This ended at least in about 24 fucking hours. Excuse my French. The Constitution divides war powers between Congress and the President. Only Congress can declare war and appropriate military funding, yet the President is Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. Armed Forces. Nevertheless, heavy U.S. military involvement in the prolonged Korean and Vietnam conflicts of the 1950s and 60s without congressional declaration of war blurred the lines between presidential and congressional power regarding the approval and conduct of war. Congressional frustrations peaked during President Nixon's administration when secret bombings from Cambodia during the Vietnam War were ordered without congressional consent. Oh! Congress passed the War Powers Resolution of 1973 intending to limit the president's authority to wage war and reasserted its authority over foreign wars. Yeah, President Nixon vetoed the bill. However, Congress overrode his veto and the resolution became law following the U.S. withdrawal from Vietnam in early 1973. Since the War Powers Resolution of 1973, sitting presidents have submitted over 132 reports to Congress. These include the airlift and evacuation operations carried out in Cambodia, such. Yeah. So you see that. And you saw how this whole thing played out with the bombing of Iran. This did not last 60 days. Trump notified everybody within 48 hours before the action took place. Therefore, this is the reason why this impeachment is not even going to work in the first place. And honestly, this is exactly why Democrats are just losing it, and this is TDS syndrome at its highest form. And it doesn't get no better than this at all. Let's go to Al Green. Let's go to the caveman Al Green. Let's go to the caveman Al Green, who gonna stand up there in front of Congress once again. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and listen to the Associated Press. And then listen to this fool sit here and talk about articles of impeachment.
Res 537 has been filed because I believe
Let's go ahead and put up Al Green. Love and happiness. That ain't no love and happiness right there. That ain't no love and happiness right there at all. But let's look at this. Let's look at this caveman Al Green trying to introduce articles of impeachment. This man has been trying to impeach somebody. Listen, he said, I'm gonna get an impeachment, whether y'all like it or not. This is his his 14th time trying to impeach Trump. First you had Congressman Sharif Thanagar. Then now you got this dude. Come on, Dems. Y'all gotta do something better than this. Y'all gotta do something better than this. Y'all gotta do something better than this. Come on now.
37 has been filed because I believe that the President of the United States has committed an impeachable act. Res 57 addresses abuse of presidential powers by disregarding the separation of powers, devolving American democracy into an authoritarian government, usurping congressional power to declare war.
Come on now, brother. You've been around since Abraham Lincoln. Stop it. Stop it. You've been in Congress since Abraham Lincoln. You've been in Congress since
I do it because no one person should have the power to take over 300 million people to war without consulting with the Congress of the United States of America.
Sir, we're not at war with Iran. They just agreed to the ceasefire. And Trump done got on the phone with Israel and done cussed them out, and now they backing out of it. So what are you talking about, sir? I cannot believe that you are this doggone old and your brain still ain't operating. Your brain still ain't operating. You still ain't functioning the fact that no, you do not have any power as a sitting member of Congress. People they obviously do not respect you enough to vote for your impeachment. For the impeachment articles that you, for the 13th time, have tried to bring against the president. Come on now. You almost made me call you Al Sharpton. That's a damn shame. You almost made me call you Al Sharpton. That's a goddamn shame. Alex Green, I think you might as well stop it and hang it up with the impeachment articles. Or maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you should. Maybe you should keep going with these so-called impeachment articles. Because you don't do nothing but help the Democrats look bad. You don't do nothing but bring political embarrassment for the Democrats. So maybe you should. It'll probably work in the favor of Republicans. So maybe you should continue on with these impeachment articles. Maybe you should. Maybe you should. Hey, who knows? For some reason, they obviously ain't got the hint that trying to impeach Trump is not going to work. That trying to impeach Trump is not going to work. I promise to God, I bet you 100% these Looney Tune Democrats are going to use that to run in the midterms. And I swear to God, I swear, if they are going to use that to run in the midterms, this is not going to look good for them at all. This is not going to be this is not going to be good for all. It's going to be good for Republicans, I kind of want y'all to continue doing this because this is going to look good for Republicans. This is going to go into the favor of Republicans. So I kind of hope that y'all continue doing this. You go ahead. Run on trying to impeach Trump when it comes to the midterms. Go ahead. We're not gonna stop you. We're not gonna we not gonna stop you. We're not gonna go again. Go right on ahead. Go right on ahead. Cause as soon as you put Trump on the ballot, I guarantee you, it's gonna motivate people to go out and vote. So maybe you should go ahead and continue to try and impeach Trump. Al Green.
I believe that if we do not take immediate action, this authoritarian president will not only devolve the country into authoritarianism, I believe he is a would-be dictator.
Bruh, you've been around since way before Adolf Hitler. You ought to know what an authoritarian regime looks like. You ought to know what an authoritarian regime looks like. This is not no authoritarian regime. Come on now. You're not being locked up. You're not being thrown in FEMA camps. American citizens are not being killed off. They're not being deported. You've been around since Abraham Lincoln. You was born before Adolf Hitler was born. Okay? So you ought to know what an authoritarian regime should look like.
Who would become a dictator. So I today announce that later today, I will bring these articles of impeachment to the floor and I will call for a vote. I believe that the hour of decision is upon us and we all have to decide. Are we going to go down and choose the path of democracy, or we allow ourselves to choose the low road of autocracy?
And as you can see, his impeachment articles was a total failure. 344 votes to 79. Even the Democrats looked at you and said, "You's a fool." Even the Democrats looked at you and said, "You's a fool," and voted against you. This clearly shows you, Mr. Al Green, that you don't have the juice. You don't get the spark. You don't have the juice. Why do you keep coming with these impeachment articles? What form of legislation have you brought to Congress other than impeachment articles? other than impeachment articles. I have yet to see any of that at all. Whatsoever. You and AOC and Big Wig Jasmine and Big Wig Maxine Waters, come on now. Y'all gotta do better than this. Y'all over here fighting for illegals. You got your folks over here raising up Iranian flags. Y'all got to do better than this. Y'all got to do better than this. You got to do better than this. Your Trump derangement syndrome is going to have you not be able to get in the White House for the next 8 to 16 years if you keep these up. I'm telling you right now, if you don't fix this, by the time midterms come, y'all ain't going to never be in the White House for the next 8 to 16 years. That is not a threat. That is not a promise. That is a fact. If y'all continue with it down this road, we're trying to issue impeachment articles of Trump from Trump. I can almost guarantee you're not gonna win the midterms, and you damn sure ain't gonna get the White House for the next 8 to 16 years. Y'all better stop right now and start legislating. But like I said, we don't want y'all to stop legislating because, yeah, y'all sitting up in here trying to come with impeachments every step of the way. Yeah, that keep on doing that. That's gonna work in the favor of Republicans and JD Vance and all of them. Keep on coming with the impeachment articles, and you will not be able to get in the White House for the next 8 to 16 years. You will lose the midterms, and you definitely will not get into the White House anymore. So yeah, go ahead, keep on acting a fool, keep on protesting and marching for illegal immigrants, keep on protesting and standing with Iran and Palestine and all of them. Keep on. Come, your Trump derangement syndrome is going to have you kicked out of the White House for the next 8 to 16 years. And you know what? I think that's exactly what America needs. But anyways, like, comment, and subscribe. And peace out.